How can you tell that someone is wearing a gun? You may notice a shape that doesn't belong, like a corner where there should be a curve, or a line where it should be smooth. Your brain takes that visual input and interprets it along with other context cues and makes an educated guess about what that object is. Is it a gun? Is it a phone? Is it a back brace? Last year, Sarah Hellman created a series in which she talked about concealment and certain social and context cues that might tell people you're carrying. In this video, I'm going to review some of the highlights from that series. A big part of having good concealment has to do with influencing those context cues and social factors and making them go the direction you want them to go. People's perception is heavily influenced by what they expect to see or to feel. So proactively managing their expectations helps to shape their perception. Ideally, you want to make it so that when people look at you, they don't jump straight to gun if they notice something odd. For example, a little weirdness in somebody's clothing drape is a lot less alarming if you've already noticed that they have a back injury or they're wearing a medical alert bracelet. You still notice the odd drape, but instead of thinking gun, your brain plugs that information in where it seems to make sense. So if you look like an off-duty cop, then they may plug that corner into the gun spot of the brain. On the flip side though, if you look like somebody's grandmother, then that same information may fall into the insulin pump category instead. While you can't change your physical attributes, you can change your style, mannerisms, or even your body language to conform to what people might expect to see. How you do that is going to be very individual, but it's definitely something worth thinking about. What cues can you give to lead people to easy assumptions? Also, think about being proactive. When you're in a challenging concealment scenario, what sort of proactive things can you do to focus people's attention away from your gun and towards where you want it to go? If you're afraid that you're printing, your first instinct may be to reach down and adjust your shirt, but people's eyes tend to follow your hands. So bringing your hands down to your waistline will actually make them more likely to notice you printing. Instead, you want to practice movements and small mannerisms to draw people's eyes up to your face. If you reach up to adjust your glasses, for example, or adjust your necklace, most people's eyes are going to follow your hands, and if you become adept at redirecting attention, then your overall concealment is going to improve. Telling doesn't necessarily mean that your gun is visible or even printing. There are social cues like the way you dress or the way you present yourself that prime people to think gun when they notice something out of the ordinary on you. Keep these things in mind the next time you're carrying a gun. What does your style of dress or body language say about you and your hobbies?